Look at that. That was perfect.
Going on, Gavin.
Woo!
Is this the last one before Christmas, mate? People are going to want to know.
That's what I'm asking. It's
Yeah,
the last
we'll
one
let them know.
before Christmas. Hey, you can't hear me speak now, can you?
I've got vodka in here today.
So I've heard. Can you hear me speak?
I can hear you.
Oh, can you?
Holly's always the first one to say hello. Very impressed, Holly, with your
Timekeeping is everything.
I hope you trade like that. You won't miss any good trades on the polls. Maybe Holly can be a scalper.
It's where I seem to be falling into at the moment.
She's very proactive.
Are you too over proactive?
Facebook user, we don't know your name.
Remember, guys, if you follow
is key, Holly. Absolutely, I agree with you.
So, guys, a little bit of housekeeping. If you follow the link to StreamYard, it should be at the bottom of this. We can see who you are, so then we can go, Nicholas. Good evening, sir. Good day, sir. How are you? Or we can. I'm already getting abused today. Bit of bedhead, Gav. You should have seen it before I got the blow dryer out, mate. A bit of sea salt. And yeah, it's a bit more presentable, but I don't know about you, but I'm trying to leave it as long as I can before I get a haircut before Christmas. We're not all professional traders that we get our own barber flown in from Sweden, like Mr. Demi does every fifth day. It's ridiculous.
Is that actually from Norway?
Good banter, mate. I need that.
Make sure you say the correct facts.
I need that this morning. Andrea, I love that picture. That is awesome. Is that you and your wife, by the way? Because that is a cool picture. So,
that is cool.
Andy, on a scale of 1 to 10, and everybody else, how good is the iPhone this week? Sound-wise.
How good is it? Why?
Are you fine?
No.
Fine.
What? How good is what?
I spent 2 hours at the iPhone store this week.
Why?
2 hours that could have been at trading time, because every week you're like, oh, your phone's not loud enough. And to be fair, I know it doesn't really sound loud enough, and it's diminished quite a lot. So I went to iPhone. I was like, right, guys, come on, let's sort this out. So they ran all these tests, like all this high-tech gizmo stuff, right? It was hilarious. All these tests, they were like, yeah, your phone's failed, the sound, there's a problem with the sound. And I was like, okay, what are we going to do? And they were like, oh, let's just do one thing. The guy, after all these diagnostics and everything, he got a piece of blue tack out and he started thumbing my phone with the blue tack for about 5 minutes, then ran all this high-tech diagnostic stuff again, and it passed the test. Amazing. Blue tack is still being used. Firstly, that was the moral of this story. And B, somewhere like Apple, they've got all of this expensive crap, basically, and then they just repaired my phone with a piece of blue tack.
Yeah, no, to be fair, when I had my old phone, that's what they did it in the UK. They use a little stick.
Ah, okay.
We're more sophisticated over here.
Wow,
so that's
no,
they've got a stick out, it out, and it was perfect after. It was like I was thinking they're going to do something techie. They're going to say, "Oh no, you need a new phone." No, sir, no problem. They got their little stick, cleaned it out, and that was it. But to be honest with you, I've upgraded now. I've got the iPhone 12. I'm pretty happy with it, to be fair.
What's all the jazz about? I don't really understand what everything's going about. My light's just falling over.
The iPhone 12?
I've got the light on. Yeah.
To be honest with you, I don't normally upgrade my phones all the time, but the other one was getting a bit slow. So when I can't do what I want to do with it, then it's time to upgrade. So
fair enough.
And
wow.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, it's good. I mean, like, it's a smaller phone, but the screen is the same as the iPhone. The iPhone, I had the 6 Plus, would you believe?
So you went from a 6 Plus to a 12?
Yeah. How
long did the 6 last for? Like 12 years. How long have you had the 6?
17 years.
17 years.
No, I'm just joking, mate. Come on. Do you not know when I'm joking?
No, because you say it in the same
Do I say it
thing.
the same way? Oh, fair enough. Yeah.
Yeah, you're pretty good at that. That's like
years, maybe 4 or 5 years.
your poker banter. See, this was my first iPhone.
I'm a good poker player.
Okay. Anybody that says they're a good poker player, I stay clear of.
Yeah, no, I am good. I am actually good. When I want to play, I'm good.
Alvaro's rocking the.
You know what? Who plays poker in this group? I'd love to set up a little game. No?
Count me out. Count me out.
Go on. Who's up for it? 10 of us. We only need 10. We'll hire a room out. Get a nice bar service. You want to do it in person? I'll get everybody else pissed and I'll win.
That's the
mistake in Vegas, mate. Do you know what? They make that mistake in Vegas. Like, the thing is, it's very tempting because they give you free drinks. And I do take the free drinks. However, when I'm playing poker, of course you do. What do you mean? Who wouldn't take a free drink? But when you're playing poker, you don't drink. It's a very simple rule. You're either there to make money or you're not.
Well,
no. When I play poker, I treat it like I'm trading, so I need to win. There's no like I'm not just playing for fun. No, I'm there to win.
See, I think a bit of Dutch courage during my drinking days when I was in Vegas. We ended up on a craps table, and we kept winning and winning and winning. That's what it's called, right?
It is called that. What are you playing that game for? Who knows what the bloody rules are for that game?
Because that's the point. We were getting free drinks, and then towards the end, there was about 100 people around the table, and we were doing these stupid chants with the dice that we thought was bringing us luck, and we kept winning. And then we just took our money. There we go.
Yeah,
look at
that. Yeah, I've no idea, mate. I've seen them all get really excited, the Americans, but. Now, I don't know who this person is. The more I drink, the better I am. I would love to test that theory because I don't think that's the case.
Look out. Katerina.
You know what? I don't know. Women are probably going to... Oh, good. They're going to take Katerina will take my money, I'm sure.
Rico's down. Tony, good evening.
On a serious level, that would be really cool to set up in London, 10 of us.
What's the buy-in? What's the buy-in, mate? Good evening, Tony.
No, we'll keep it friendly. 50 quid. Doesn't have to be crazy money. We can even, or we can do less if people can't afford that.
What's the max drawdown?
And I'll tell you what, and if I win, I'll donate my money to charity. How about that? That's fair enough, isn't it?
That sounds okay. I think Dan's got it spot on there. Sounds like Andy simply can't handle his drink.
Dan, that's out of order, mate.
Facebook user, identify yourself. Agree with Tony. When I'm sober, I play worse than when I'm drunk-ish. You want to get that little bit lit, but I'm trying to find the little bit lit without the alcohol these days, and it's working quite well, guys. What happens when Andy goes all in? Good question, Richard.
You don't want to join me, mate. My 2-7 will beat your aces.
Fair enough.
Frosty, we'll teach you, mate. As long as you've got 50 quid with you, we'll teach you.
I didn't think you swore, Frosty. Better pay for my flight. Who put that? Identify yourself, please. Loving all these, by the way, on a serious note, thank you guys. Loving all the comments for the algorithm juice. I guess we should do a little bit of
Alvaro doesn't drink either. He could be your buddy.
That's fine. We'll be the one taking everybody's money in the corner.
You can play, Gav. You can play virtually. We'll trust you.
That's what I thought you were on about.
No, I wasn't actually. I actually meant hiring a venue out. All of us with masks, of course.
Hey, if you can get away with that, mate. If you can get away with that, that would be awesome. So yeah, just Alvaro and I are the only non-drinkers right now, but that's cool. I'm happy with that, Alvaro, if you are, buddy. Any other non-drinkers in the house, that'd be cool. If you are a drinker.
Yeah.
If you are a drinker, if you are a drinker, have a nice glass of wine right now. Maybe it's, you know, you finish your work for the week. Oh no, you've got one more day to go. Or put the kettle on, have a nice hot cup of tea or Irish whiskey or something, Irish coffee, whatever fancies your, whatever floats your boat. This is Pips Like a Pro, the show that's designed to help take your trading to the next level, one pip at a time. However, we're going to be doing something different now, and that is, do you want to introduce it, mate?
No.
I didn't have time to do a banner.
I'd love to know people's favourite drink for the drinkers. I think I'd like to know that. And by the way, there's some great offers now and some lovely whiskies. And then I will introduce my crypto analysis. Fair
enough. And while we're doing that, whilst we're waiting for people to put that in, Facebook user, I'm Uber, so can take you guys home. Wow, thank you for the offer. But
beautiful. I like that. That's a good offer. You can play poker with us if you like, and then take us home. And then take us home after.
It could be a catfish. Look, identify yourself.
Grey Goose, that's a good shout. Grey Goose that was my party drink.
Party drink.
What was your drink, Gavin, before you stopped drinking?
I can't even. Patron, coffee patrons.
Wow, nice.
Yeah. No offense, but skinny bitches.
I'm a bit offended.
Do you know? Do you know what that
is? No, mate.
Okay, so skinny bitch is basically just water and lime with vodka. And my mates, the whole point of the skinny bitch was my mates used to say, "Oh, you're just trying to look like a skinny bitch."
Oh,
or you're trying to stay a skinny bitch. So yeah, that's where that came from. I don't even know if it's a thing. If you've heard of that drink before, let me know. But I don't know.
What is that, Joanna? Jack Daniel's honey with honey.
That sounds.
What does it else stand for? No idea.
Guinness and Tia Maria. I challenge you, by the way, guys. This week I've spoken to
Tia Maria. Seriously, yeah. Richard, come on, man. I hope you're not trading like that with drinking that drink.
It might work. He wants to get a little bit.
Are you serious?
I challenge everyone. I've spoken to a few people this week who are brand new, and they're like, "Oh, I feel like a bit of an outsider. I'm not really part of the crew." You are. If you're a member of this community, guys, firstly, you're a part of our crew. Just if you've never commented before, just put a comment in, and we'll try. Obviously, we can't mention everyone, but we'll try and mention some new people.
What is this? Like JD and honey? I've never heard of this. Like, are you serious? Like, you actually put honey in your JD? That's unheard of. JD
for you, there's more cultured people in the world, mate.
They are, mate. I'll be honest. I've got some lovely honey that we actually make ourselves in Cyprus.
Wow,
it's fantastic. No rubbish in it, but we've got beehives in Cyprus.
Really?
I don't go anywhere near, but my dad does it, and yeah, we've got bottles of it.
Wow!
Maybe I'll do it as a prize one day.
You should do. I've got a friend here who's got like all of that beehive jazz, and the honey tastes amazing. It's really, really cool. So, yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Right. Great stuff. Rhubarb gin. Wow. Okay. So Sab just drinks everything basically. I bet you have a couple of shots before your 5 a.m. gym session.
I need it. I think I'd have to start drinking again if I was
in there at 2 in the morning, mate. You may as well have a little shot.
Unbelievable. And this is the thing, right? Just as trading, as in life, you've got to find what works for you and your personality. This is very random. So, for example, this person, we're talking about drinks, and then they're put, can't beat honey on your Weetabix. I mean,
that's fair enough. They may have a craving for Weetabix.
And thank you for sharing. Right, let's jump into it, Mr. Deming.
Right, okay. Yeah, we do have a lot to fit in, but it is nearly Christmas. So, okay, cool. So let me just swivel a little bit. And yeah, so we'll start. We're going to start with a little crypto analysis because you asked me to, and then obviously we are going to still find an FX trade setup. So let's do a screen share. One sec, let me bring it up. So right, what have we got up here? I'm just going to quickly change. So I have done this. So I'm going to show you a couple of things.
Rubbish.
Now, just to be transparent, I don't trade cryptocurrencies. I have got investments in cryptocurrencies because, you know, it's something that might be great in the long term. We don't know. It could be the next best thing, like the internet was, or it could be nothing. We don't really know. That's the honest truth. I think everybody there's so much wide opinion on it, like from experts, from very, very sort of respected people on both sides of the equation. So you have to kind of respect both sides and say, well, look, it could be something, it could be nothing. One thing I do believe in is the technology. I think when you study and you think about, the blockchain technology and what it will bring to the world, that I really, really firmly believe in that. And I think that's how that's going to look in the future is hard to say. And so, just to be kind of transparent, like I've invested, but I've invested in a number of different cryptocurrencies that I believe could have some merit in the future if cryptos become mainstream. Now, you can do one of two things the way I look at it. You can either buy and just hold and just take some of your money that you've got rather than keeping it in savings. I look at it as part of my portfolio, and you can just hold it and do nothing with it. That's one option. The other option you've got is you can do the kind of analysis that we've been teaching, where you can identify where the market is likely to swing. So if you look, let me just bring up, you should all see my screen right now, yeah? Oh, and Gavin, remind me, I need to talk about Rich Dad, Poor Dad, because I promised Lorien, because that's the book that got him into this thing.
Oh, it's on the list, mate. It's on the list.
All right, I just heard my voice there.
Yep.
Are you recording and playing it back, mate? I can speak to you later. You don't have to,
I should have done after last week's fiasco.
So look, if you look at the big picture here, in fact, let me just zoom out. So this is the daily chart. I'm looking at Ethereum here, which I think is a good cryptocurrency because, a lot of other cryptocurrencies are using this technology. And if you kind of look at the whole history of this, obviously started from nothing, and this isn't even everything. And it had this kind of, ridiculous parabolic move, and then it's kind of crashed back down to earth. So that's kind of what it's done. And I think, all of this is created by FOMO. And this is the one thing that's in cryptocurrencies right now. And that's why it's very different. If you're trading this, you have to do this on a demo account for a little while. I recommend you don't trade it, but if you do hold investments, you can do the kind of things that I've taught you to kind of get in and then rebuy. That's what I'm saying. So get out and then rebuy when you think it's going to be cheaper. So let me now look at the what I'm looking at here, basically. Okay, so what have we got? Well, I've done something different today. And I don't know if you can see these lines, but basically these lines represent when the market is basically moving at extreme points, okay? And if you have a look to see, especially like the green line, so if we're in an uptrend, you can see that this market, when the market gets to the kind of the green line, it kind of retraces, right? So you can see this is like the area where the market is essentially overextended. It's gone up too fast. Doesn't mean it's going to pull back indefinitely, but it's definitely an area where you want to look at potentially as a profit-taking area. Now, if you have a look at where the current green line is, you're looking at it here. Now, what I identified over here, guys, is I really particularly like this this angle. And so what I've done is I've projected this up, and I can see, like, you know, we had a couple of touches there, and then the market did respond over here. So if I just zoom in, let's go over here. It did actually react really nicely on this line, and obviously had the envelope there as well, and then the market fell off, and now it's kind of pushed up again, right? And if you kind of look at where I've just basically done the same thing. I've taken this line and look at the proof there. There's support, there's support. So that's enough to say that this could also become a future resistance point. And so look where we are. We're right there. Okay. And when you actually look, there's quite a few things here. We are also in a fade zone. So we've reached this Fibonacci level. And so there's lots of reasons to say that this market could pull back here. Okay. Now, when you look at the bigger picture, and I zoom out a little bit more, let me go down 1 second. Oh, what's going on? Why can't I move it down? That's a bit annoying. Ah, there we go. The bigger picture shows me that, you know, we've got our Fibonacci is a little bit higher, and so there's actually room. You know, if we can break through here, I don't really see a lot in the way of this getting up towards here, which is around the 800 and even possibly a little bit higher. But you can start to see that. Look at the way this is going up. This is quite almost like a straight line there. Now, if you go over to the 4-hour time frame, look what's happened, guys. You see, like, we think about the Fibonacci as, you know, for FX. But look, this is our Fibonacci sequence, the way we teach you on FX. And look where the target was, right there. And I mean, when I looked at this earlier, we weren't even up there. I was looking at this as a possible pullback area. And then I drew this red line, and it's actually done it perfectly. It's hit that line, and it's now pulled back. So I'm kind of waiting to see how we close on this one. But for me, this looks like, you know, this is like now in, you know, on this time frame, it's hit the D. We're looking for a pullback to buy this again. And I think this little, if you're not in this and you're looking for an entry, I quite like this little zone here. I think there's a lot of old resistance here that become future support. So you've got like your 50%, and then you've got the next swing up, which takes you to 753. So yeah, I mean, once you clear this level, there really isn't a lot. So, but, you know, I mean, I would be really looking to get in at a better price. But I've been in this for quite a long time. I've bought pretty low. I've bought from around 200. I bought a little bit more, a little bit higher as well. And I haven't really been that active, but I've been kind of looking at it a little bit more now to sort of start being a bit more active in it and actually taking profits and getting back in. But the thing with crypto that's dangerous, not dangerous, but that's a little bit different to FX, and why I've been hesitant to do that up to now, is you get you get kind of like completely out of the ordinary moves in cryptocurrencies. Like where we're saying that should if that was FX, ordinarily that will definitely pull back, almost certainly pull back. I can say that with confidence. But because cryptocurrencies is made of retail traders and we have FOMO, sometimes you get parabolic moves that are just so insane. Like, so I guess like my thinking with this is use it if you're not in it. You can use the sort of pullbacks. Right now we're in an uptrend for sure. You can use the 4-hour fibs and the 1-hour fibs to get in. But I would be kind of like a little bit kind of cautious to get out at this moment, because like I said, you get some really parabolic moves. I mean, right now, as I said before, here there's an evening star. I think a nice little pullback into this little zone here will represent a decent kind of like buying opportunity in Ethereum, which is, that matches quite nicely with that support as well there. So around that sort of 612, 602 zone, I believe is good value right now. And I think we've got quite a lot of room to the upside.
Awesome.
Let's pause there. Let's stop for a minute on cryptos. I don't want to sort of take the whole show doing this, but any questions?
Yeah, guys, if you've got any questions, bang them into the comments for us, please. I guess one of my comments, I started looking at cryptos before I came back to Forex this year, just out of interest, just to see what was happening. And one of the things that I continually found, or people I was reading about, or some people were telling me, was that those parabolic moves that you're talking about, also, all you need is one big whale that can come in, because it's mainly retail traders. One big whale can move the market, especially with the smaller guys. And that just didn't make me feel comfortable. It was like, well, if they've got their own agenda and they want to move it whichever way they want, at least with foreign exchange, it's so big and so volatile that obviously it can't be as done as readily. Would that be a fair assumption?
Yeah, no, definitely. And that's why I don't really actively trade it. Now, I do know like a couple of guys that trade it and do well from it, but it's not my market. And that's why I'm more inclined to just invest, like I invest in gold and I invest in silver and I invest in, in certain stocks. I do it for the long term. Ideally, you still want to think, you don't want to be brainless. You still want to think like you can add some of the skills that you have. Like, I don't want to sort of do it as if like I know nothing. So you can still add the skills that you have to try and buy value, but it's not the same as like, trading with a stop. I mean, I will buy where I think there's a pullback and then look to just hold it. So like, let's say I wasn't in Ethereum and I wanted to buy this, I wouldn't buy it here. It doesn't make any sense. So I'll do a little bit of analysis and say, well, that looks like a decent area. So, but yeah, there are, I do know a couple of pro traders that do really well from it. I think you just got to master one market and understand it. And then, because the strategies that would work on this will be slightly different to FX.
Interesting, because that's what someone said. But Andy, you need an edge to trade this, no? So I guess that's what you've just covered there, really, I guess, unless there's anything else that you'd want to say on to that point.
No, you do. And that's why I said, like, if you wanted to trade this, I know you could definitely make money from it in a very different way to FX. Like, I know, like, I can't remember who, but people were talking to me about, I think it was Manuel from memory, but people were talking to me about breakouts in FX. They don't really work, breakouts in FX. There's too many fake outs because you're dealing with institutions. But in crypto, you can do it. You can do it. But again, it's something you definitely need to create some rules around and build your edge, practice it, and see, what works and what doesn't. And that takes a bit of work.
Alvaro says, insane how all of the fibs hit the trend line like ping pong.
It's amazing. It's amazing, like how often you get those confluences, and it just gives you that extra confidence when you're trading. And that's really what it's about. Like, you know, whatever you're trading, you need to be confident. That's really important. And honestly, like, I know I can make money from cryptos trading them, but I would need to dedicate my time to it. Like, I would need to sort of dedicate a certain amount of time to make it, to build its own strategy. But 100%, you can make money whatever market you're trading. You just need to learn the market and learn who the players are and how they work.
Yeah,
that's it. It's like playing poker in a way. You need to know who's on the table and play the game slightly differently depending on who you're playing against.
Totally, mate. I guess if you were to do that, you wouldn't have time to do things like this, right?
No, I guess not. I mean, well, yeah, it doesn't take long to build an edge. Not for somebody with my experience. Like, it won't take long for me to build something where I could say that's probably going to be a profitable strategy.
Okay, that's cool. I totally hear what you're saying. Obviously, me being new, or back in, I mean, I did spread betting. I've realized this last couple of weeks. I didn't even know anything about Forex. Like, I was doing spread betting on the FTSE. And to come back into the Forex is exactly what you said. You got to know who the players are, what kind of table you're sitting at. And I have no Scooby-Doo. So guys, I apologize. I know I haven't been very active in the group the last couple of weeks. I'm literally balls deep into this, and my brain is just like trying to analyze as much information as possible. And I don't have the brain capacity to hardly speak. So as you guys noticed, the bedhead, I can't even really do my hair at the moment. It's I'm that deep into this, mate, and I love it. I love it. It's like learning a new language or being in a whole nother world. And I'm sure other newbies who are here, if you're watching now, I'm sure you can agree to that. And obviously, you know, some guys say, oh, trade just 3 or 4 pairs. But how do you know, I guess a question for the newer folk, how do you know which 3 or 4 pairs if you don't really know the pairs? You've got to try everything first to know what you like a smorgasbord or like an all-you-can-eat buffet in Vegas, right?
Yeah, that's why I go to the buffets, just to make sure. But like, no, it's true. No, it's true. Like, yeah, I think like there are like different currency pairs move differently for sure. So you have to be aware of that, and you only become aware of it by actually trying out different currency pairs. Like I said, I mean, I'd always analyze all 27. I always felt better to do it, but okay. Yeah, but now I've kind of evolved it to, because I started asking myself those questions. And actually, that's a really good tip. You know, I honestly believe, like, if you ask a question enough times, your brain has the capacity to find you the solution. Like, sometimes people say, I get this very, very frequently. I hear this from people saying, I don't have enough time. That's the biggest excuse that I find for people not doing this. Or I don't have enough capital, I don't have enough time. Like, those are the 2 most common things. But sticking to that, like, if you start to ask more powerful questions, you will find the solution. How can I find the time to do this? Like, where can I find time to do this? Why is this important to me? So I started asking myself the question of, like, how can I make as much money or more but doing a lot less hours? And I asked myself that a lot of times, and then my brain just comes up with it, especially when I'm relaxed. And so I come up with creative ideas to do that. So I think, I think anybody can, you know, it's good. It's good to kind of really, the power of questions. Like, if you ask yourself that, the more powerful your questions, you know, if you ask, I think I got this from Anthony Robbins, to be honest with you. I'm definitely not claiming to have made this up myself, but, like, you know, ask yourself, I think he always used to say, like, when I heard him, like, ask a stupid question and you get a stupid answer. Like, why am I so, I don't know, fat? Because I eat too much, you know, like, but if you ask a different question, you can come up with a better answer and you come up with solutions. So, you know, that's something that I do practice. I learned that from the time that we were going to UPW, and I've listened to all this stuff. Tony, yes, Tony, yeah, absolutely. And like, you can do whatever you need to do. It's just a question of like desire and wanting to do it. I've gone off on a tangent, mate. You can stop me.
No, mate. It's I like the tangents, and I know we plan, mate. Well, you know, but for you guys watching, we plan a lot of stuff, and we've kind of stopped doing that now because we love just going on the tangents, and obviously you guys interacting on it, and then it takes us further down this rabbit hole, as Katerina's just said. How do you relax your brain, Andy? Now, I'm sure there's the PG version and the and the after hours version. So just give us the PG version for now, mate.
Do you know what? The time that I'm relaxed is definitely the gym. That really does. Like, when I'm in the gym, I'm completely focused on what I'm doing. And the second thing is meditation. But the gym relaxes me more than meditation, if I'm being honest. So, because I'm actually focused on a task, whereas with meditation, I'm actually trying to slow my mind down. Like, it's like I'm on purpose trying to do it, trying to relax. Whereas in the gym, I'm not trying to relax. I'm just focused on my goal, which is to lift the next weight or to run a certain amount or to do whatever I'm doing. So my brain switches off. Like, it doesn't think about other stuff. It just thinks about the task at hand. So that's why, like, for me, that's probably the most important thing that I do for my brain to switch off.
That's really interesting. So basically you go into a bit of a meditative state then, because you're forcing yourself to go into the moment, right?
Yes, exactly that. It's like, but exactly, rather than, you know, meditation is good. It does work. And I do practice it, but sometimes, like, it's hard to quieten your mind down. Like, whereas when you're focused on something completely different, your brain naturally, and to be fair, like, even if you're watching a TV program, in a way, your brain switches off.
Yeah, and there's ways that can benefit you as well, for sure. I guess if you're not doing, it's like anything. It's like, if I'm being totally honest, when I used to go out and party and drink, it was escapism. And that was not the right way to do it. If you're doing it because you're being present and you want to celebrate something in the moment, I have nothing against alcohol. And I guess it's the same with TV shows or whatever it is that is your kind of outlet. Are you doing it from a place of presence? Are you conscious with your thoughts and your actions? Or are you just going into autopilot and then you're not achieving anything? A really good question, actually, or more of a question / statement from Scott. If you want it bad enough. So what we were going on about, and I know for sure I've studied this, but I'll use you as a case study with regards to the trading reference. How was there a point in your time when you were coming up through the ranks? Yes, if you want it, and we've spoken about this before, if you want it too much and you're not in alignment with it, then you actually push it away because you're putting out a frequency of, I don't have it, I don't have it. So it's a really fine line. And I think it's one that we've been slightly misled on. And I've said that before, and maybe we can go into that in a deeper way. But I'm trying to use you as an actual life case study of, do you remember a time when you really wanted it, but it wasn't quite working out? And do you remember a time when you kind of got more into alignment with it and then it just started working without you having to try so hard?
It's hard to know the right answer to that, because I do think you can bulldoze your way to success. I do. Like, I know people say it's all about positive thinking and negative thinking won't get you there. I partly agree. I think, look, we all go through periods where you have doubts, like, but it's one of those things where, like, if I had doubts, it was just a doubt, and I would still say, like, I'm going to do whatever it takes to succeed. So, like, I would always just tell myself that no matter what I believed, like, I'd almost bulldoze my way to where I need to be. Like, I just don't accept that I'm not going to succeed at something that I'm going for. So, and I think as long as you've got that kind of attitude, yes, we're not robots. We will all experience bad times and think negative thoughts. And I do think, Scott, absolutely 100%. If you want it bad enough, you will succeed at it. Like, if you're somebody who really does not give up, just will not give up, you will succeed. It's really that simple. It's one of those things that maybe it would take a bit longer, but if you're a quitter, I guess the thing for people to think about is, like, if on the first sign of a problem where it's not exactly something comfortable, you think about quitting, you're not in the right mindset. You're nowhere near the right mindset. Like, those thoughts shouldn't be going through your head at that stage. You should just be thinking, okay, I'm not enjoying this, but I'm going to find a way. I will find a way, whatever it takes. I will find a way. And if you think like that, you will succeed. It's that simple.
Mate, I could talk about this kind of area for hours and days even. I love kind of social dynamics and how psychology works, and people coming in with ideas. Dan saying an early morning walk is where he gets most of the creativity and relaxation at the same time. That's a good.
I like to do that. I've got some lovely areas here, like really nice green area. I do that sometimes, even when we're talking. Sometimes I go for a nice walk, but even by myself, it's nice, especially when the sun is shining. It's nice. I agree with Dan. It's a good way to just kind of switch your phone off and just think and walk.
Andy, like when I was in the Marines, you do not lose. I mean, that's literally life and death.
Exactly. That mine is not anywhere near as serious as that. I just create that environment. But when that's when you're in the Marines, mate. I mean, I can't even imagine what that would be like.
So look, it's almost time for FX trade setup of the week. Now I know we've got guys. We'll go to you with this. I know we wanted to talk about, like, Andy made a great post this week about favorite books, and we were going to talk about Rich Dad Poor Dad. I understand you've got a story about that. You've been saying to me for ages about the story that you've got around it, and we were finally trying to fit it in. The point is, guys, I would rather spend the time to go through that thoroughly and then ask any questions that come up, as invariably they do with this group. We've got such a great dynamic and a great energy that we're going to create more questions to close off any loops. But if you guys want to go through the Rich Dad Poor Dad stuff, we've got 15 minutes that we have to fit the trade setup of the week and Andy's Rich Dad Poor Dad story. I would prefer that we spent that time really breaking down the trade analysis, but you guys are the audience. So if you want to just put in the algorithm Rich Dad Poor Dad or just put RD or trade, and then we'll know. So just we'll open it up for 30 seconds to a minute. Just bang in the comments whether you want Rich Dad Poor Dad or you want the trade setup of the week. And if you don't put anything, then we'll just make the decision. So yeah. How long do you think you need for what's the trade setup this week?
Aussie dollar. I did euro yen as well, but I didn't like it. Somebody asked for euro yen.
Okay, so we're going to do, oh, crikey, I've got better start counting because we're going to work this out. Never tried to go through this. 1, 2. No, you can't vote twice. My brain is already at capacity. I'm going to start glitching out in a minute, guys. So it looks just like trade setup. Maybe we can do something else. We can record something on the Rich Dad Poor Dad, because this is the last live show before Christmas. Forgive me, but I've got commitments on Christmas Day morning. So but we are going to post something out next week for you guys. So maybe we can talk about it then. How about that? We'll do the trade setup. You've taken the time to do that, and you're on a roll at the moment with the trade setup. And maybe we can get some more of those pips if we get the trade breakdown. So let's do that. We will come back to it, guys, because all success development, personal development, psychology, we love that, Andy and I, and we know you guys do too. So we are committed to discussing more of that. So let's go with the trade setup now, and then we'll that's a good shout, Alvaro. Record the RD on a walk to Costa. Good shout.
Good man. Good shout.
Glad
good shout.
Brain's working. Okay, cool. So let's do that. Let's go for the trade setup of the week, and then we'll come back to that. We'll put a line in the sand for the Rich Dad Poor Dad stuff, and we promise we'll come back to it.
Okay, cool. So Aussie dollar. So I'm just looking at the monthly chart here, and this is quite an interesting channel line that I've drawn. So you can see this is a very, very reactive channel line, and I've just simply used it to identify a zone where this market could potentially find resistance here. So obviously we've had a very, very strong month in the Aussie. You can see that's like, halfway through the month, and it's already, if you kind of look at the previous monthly candles, it's already done a decent amount. That's actually something that a little tip, you go back and study previous green candles to see what they do. But anyway, this looks like it's kind of come up to this resistance point. So what that makes me look at is, well, is this now are we gonna find a high point where we can maybe sell it? So let's move over to the weekly chart. Now, on a weekly chart, I can see that the next significant level is a little bit higher. Okay, so we're at 76.17. That's not until there. However, there is, right now where we are, there is this kind of 200 that could maybe give us some short-term pullback, potentially. So you can see recently that's acted as support and it's also acted as resistance. So where we are right now, it looks fairly interesting as maybe a short-term idea. Let's go over to the daily chart. So the daily chart. Now, what does the daily chart look like? Well, I've drawn here, if I zoom out, we have got a current Fibonacci. This is a sub Fibonacci, and it's an extended move. So we haven't stopped at the 1618. And so I would kind of mark down the 200 now as a possible area, which comes in at 76. Let me just zoom in. That comes in 76.88. But I'm going to just go and put in the capital fibs as well, just out of curiosity to see where they come in. Don't know if did anybody catch the dollar Swiss? It went absolutely perfect from last week's show. Perfect, right in the zone, and it bounced. It took a few days to get there, but it was great. It was perfect.
I did jump in for a little scalp, but nothing major.
What? Okay, that's good. Well done. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. This is the first time I'm seeing this, by the way. It's the line that we identified, 76.68, 76.86. Well, that's actually the capital fib. 76.86 is the capital fib, which basically is another confluence. I didn't even see that before the setup when I went through it before. So it's the first time I'm seeing it. So that's really good confirmation. So we've got that monthly channel resistance, and then we've got this really nice little zone here, fib on the daily chart. So remember, this is a zone, so it could spike a little bit higher. And if you look at that, 76.88, if we go back to the weekly, that's really not too far from this zone. So I do think there's some potential here. And then let's go to the 4-hour chart and have a look to see where we are here. So the 4-hour chart is in a fade zone, which basically means that it could come down at some point, but I don't know, what can you guys see here? I'm just gonna ask that question. You know, I'll help you. What do you see here at the moment? Anyone know what that pattern is?
Guys, type it into the algorithm. I'm just going to plug my laptop in because the screens just went because the battery's about to go.
Beginning with F. Come on, guys.
FL, maybe? Is L the second word? We'll play Trading Hangman. Boom.
It could be. We'll see if enough people guess.
Yes.
FR. O.
A frog. It might bounce like a frog. It might bounce like a frog, right? Yep, we got it. Flag. Well done, guys.
Flag is the correct answer. I have to amuse myself sometimes.
Thanks, mate.
No worries, that's fine. As long as I'm happy, it doesn't matter what if everyone else is not.
Selfish.
I've been told that. Right now, okay, yeah. So you've got this kind of like big push up, a little bit of a flag, which again is indicating that potentially there's a bit of room to go a little bit higher. So what would be quite interesting would be to see. So essentially, with the fade, anywhere here can be a sell, even where we are now, but anywhere here can be a sell. So if we just kind of mark down where 76.88 is, that's the Fibonacci daily, and then the weekly level is around there. So, and remember, this is a zone, so it could easily spike a little bit higher. So we're just trying to find. So this on the 4-hour, that's confirming basically what the lower time frame, what the higher time frame was saying. So let's now go to the hourly chart and have a look and see.
Andy, just on that note, because I'm conscious of the newer guys as well. When you, if you can go back to that slide, please. When you say, so basically you're learning, you guys are learning to pull the data from the daily and the weekly, but they're not accurate numbers. They're just showing us where it's likely to turn because they are the more important indicators, right? But it doesn't mean it's going to give it us to the pip. So how would we deduce from that zone where we would enter?
Yeah, so exactly that. So when you're looking at a daily level or a weekly level, it is a zone. So like, just like when you find a support or resistance level on a lower time frame, you know, the market could spike up or, you know, or spike down depending on what you're looking at, support or resistance. So if it spikes up, that could be quite a few pips. So that, like, if you want to get accurate, we want to go to the lower time frames, i.e. the 4-hour and the hourly time frame, which will hopefully give us a clue, a much better clue as to where we are more likely to hold. And that's what I'm doing now. So that's why I've gone to the 4-hour time frame. Like I might be looking for a resistance level on the 4-hour, so then it's a bit more accurate, or a Fibonacci target, which is a bit more accurate. So there's quite a few, there's quite a few things that we can do. We can identify a more accurate level. And then obviously the DTR as well. Someone's saying that we might be cutting out. I don't know if that's the case. Anybody else experiencing that? T5D Lord. We are.
I was working out how to pronounce that as well.
Yeah, we are on Facebook. Come and join us. The group is called the FX Traders Club. So everybody, most people are on that watching us.
But we are live on YouTube Live as well. So hi everybody that's watching on YouTube Live.
So we're okay.
I think the consensus is that it's all good. So maybe it's to do with that own Wi-Fi.
That's fine.
I think we're good. I haven't noticed anything untoward here, mate.
So here's the setup that I like. So it's going to be slightly dependent on what happens, but essentially, look what we've got. We've got an old 200. I love the old 200s. They are really good confirmations. And what does it match up with? It matches up with my yellow fib. Okay. So how can we, and then look at the level 76.80. That's in line with where we want it to be. That matches up all the other time frames, right? That's perfect. So what is this market doing? Well, it's had a big rally. It's kind of doing this little flag at the moment. So either this could do the setup for this to be valid. This will have to either just sort of break up now and then spike in here. And then that spike will be a short right there. So anywhere basically between 76.80 and that level there will be a very high probability to 76. So this little box here, that if that happens, there will be a high probability short there. And again, you can take this down. Like on the dollar Swiss, I didn't take a lot. It went further than what I took. I took it up to 70. I took it up to 47. I got in at 24 or 25. So I didn't get a lot, but that's my plan. I'm just looking for bang, bang, out, finished. And this is the same thing for this. So I would be probably, I'd probably just be looking for that. Now, if you want to go for a bit more, considering all the other high time frames, you could go for something like, a push back into this zone. That would make sense as well. But like I said, I'd probably go for the easy move. That should be a quick move. And if this market does want to break higher, that's fine. Then it's not going to interfere with my trade. I'll be out of it by then and locked in my profits. Now, second option, if this market doesn't just rally here like a flag, and this actually does pull back, maybe create some kind of evening star here, well, it could do something like this, where we have yellow zone, right? And then pushes up to there, and then I'll still sell it. And then I'll still go for the trade like that. But if it does this and goes into the red zone and goes up, trade is invalid. I don't take the trade. So basically you can watch this back because it's quite a lot to take in, especially if you're new. But the zone is here, but there's only two scenarios that I take the trade. Everything else invalidates my trade.
Awesome. Sorry, mate, go on.
That's it.
And that's why I wanted to spend the time just to go through that. Now, we will obviously spend a few extra minutes. Just want to say another shout out to another YouTube live viewer, Chris King. Thank you for joining us. Remember, we are a free community on Facebook, FX Traders Club. If you go over and apply, we can approve you. And there's all of this content. You get to see Andy's trades. Also, we've got some great moderators who also trade. And they post a lot of analysis as well. And then we've got some fantastic group members that bring a lot of value to this. So we're really, really pleased and proud of what we've created in a short space of time. So yeah, come on over. Now, this is why I wanted to have the time for this, because invariably there's going to be more questions. So thanks for sending this in. We're giving you some good airtime this week, Alvaro. So I hope you're getting your money's worth. So how come we are forgetting the D-completion on this? I'm confused now.
The D-completion, that target is assuming a pullback into the red zone, but that doesn't suit the setup. So we need the pullback to be the yellow zone, or for it to just go up from here and be a fade trade. That's the reason. Cool.
Thank you for clarifying. Any other questions that you guys have got? We're coming up to 7 o'clock. That's the hour. We value your time as well, so we want to make sure that we try and stick to that timing. We are looking at doing a lot more content next year. So if you are new, especially, we're trying to think of some ways to bring some more content for you guys, especially. But obviously, we want to bring as much value as we can, and we don't really know much more value than predicting a setup by a professional trader and having them all at 100% win rate at the moment since we started the show. No pressure that this one's got to do it, but do you know what? The confluence. Here's the thing. The confluence.
I said that to you now. I think I've set myself for failure, mate. Like, they expect every week it's going to be a winner now.
But the confluence on this one this week, if this one happens to be the one that falls off the wagon, then so be it. Because
I'm not happy with that.
Well, you and we have done everything. We can't control this now, though, can we? And that's, I think, where we get so, and I've been guilty of it, and I thought I was over this, but you get so attached to ideas, attached to trades, attached to all the setups. And at the end of the day, they don't reflect us, and we're all really powerful. We're all really powerful. And over the next couple of years, we're going to realize how powerful we are. But this is just a way to trigger our smaller self. And if you've read that book that Andy recommends and waxes verbatim over, the Psycho-Cybernetics, you'll understand a lot more about your smaller self and how the smaller self gets tied into things like this, because we get attachment. We think having these things, having the Aston Martin, winning the trade will make us better people or get us more validation. But if we just accept ourselves at the beginning, regardless of whether the trade works out or whether it doesn't, we'll be in a much, much happier place of that, I'm pretty sure. So thank you very much for sharing that, Andy. We really love all the time and effort that you go to sharing that for us. If anybody else has got any comments or questions, bang them in the algorithm now, and we'll try and go over one or two more questions.
Andy, it's a win-win, Tony.
Is that another Tony Robbins saying, or is that from someone called Tony?
I don't know, mate.
I'm confused. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I think that's it for this week. Thanks for that, Dan. Seriously incredible value. Thank you for these sessions every week, guys. So if you do catch this on the rerun, please put your comments in the comment section, because the more comments we get, the more interaction and engagement we get. Obviously, we boost ourselves in the algorithm world of Facebook. So thank you very much to all you guys that have posted live in the show. Thank you for watching the show. Any final words from you, Mr. Demi, this week?
No, like we said, guys, this is going to probably be the last live one for a couple of weeks, right, Gav?
Yeah, but we will bring you content.
We will send you a little video before Christmas.
You know what? Let's end on this one. This is what we try and do. We try and make something a bit more that can get very heavy and very psychological and very in your head. We want to bring some fun to it. We want to bring some entertainment to it. So great one. Thanks for the giggles. That's a great one to go out on, I think.
Welcome to the Go Markets MT4.
Oh, I was trying to play Bella Ciao.
I think you was playing.
And there we go. You think you're going to be all professional.
MT4 tutorials, mate. Oh, is that what we're doing now?
You think you've got it. You think you've got it sorted, and then YouTube pops up and plays something else. That's fantastic.
Frosty wants a Christmas song, but Bella
Ciao. Next week, Frosty.
That's true. That's true.
Unless someone can do a remix of Bella Ciao, that will be awesome. But guys, we are done. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. We love you lots. Normally we would play a song, but there we go. Standards are slipping this week, guys. Let's just bang on Bella Ciao again. Have an amazing night. Have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week, guys.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hey, hey. Oh, I wanted to catch you dancing. Damn it, you stopped. I'll get you next week, buddy. Oh, almost got you.
Oh,
Perfect. We're out.